Jack Elam, born William Scott Elam on November 13, 1920, in Miami, Arizona, became one of Hollywood's most recognizable and unforgettable character actors, known for a career that spanned more than 5 decades and over 200 film and television appearances. From an early age, Elam was drawn to storytelling and performance, interests that deepened after his service in the United States Navy during World War II, where he developed the discipline and resilience that later defined his work ethic. After the war, he studied acting at the University of Southern California, and although his misaligned eye initially set him apart in Hollywood, Elam turned it into his greatest asset, transforming what could have been a limitation into a trademark that gave him a naturally menacing, eccentric, and unforgettable screen presence. He became especially famous for his work in westerns, a genre perfectly suited to his rugged look and commanding intensity, with standout roles in films such as Once Upon a Time in the West, Support Your Local Sheriff, and The Night of the Grizzly, where he often played villains who mixed menace with humor and, at times, surprising humanity. Beyond westerns, Elam demonstrated remarkable versatility, appearing in comedies, dramas, and family-friendly projects, as well as countless television series including Gunsmoke, Bonanza, The Twilight Zone, and The Lone Ranger, leaving a lasting mark on American pop culture. In the mid-1970s, he took on the role of Zach Wheeler in the short-lived ABC comedy The Texas Wheelers, portraying a rough, long-absent father suddenly tasked with raising 4 children, a role that showcased his comedic timing and emotional depth and paired him with future stars like Mark Hamill and Gary Busey. Though the series was cancelled after 8 episodes, critics praised Elam's performance, and he continued experimenting with unconventional television roles, including playing Frankenstein's monster in the quirky CBS sitcom Struck by Lightning, a series that failed in the US but later aired in full in the UK. Elam remained active into the 1980s and 1990s, appearing in Home Improvement, sharing scenes with Ernest Borgnine, and delighting audiences in the action comedy hit The Cannonball Run, and its sequel as the wildly eccentric Dr. Nicholas Van Helsing. During the filming of The Aurora Encounter in 1986, Elam formed a profound friendship with Mickey Hayes, an 11-year-old boy with progeria, a bond later documented in I Am Not a Freak and remembered as one of the most touching chapters of Elam's life, revealing a warmth and compassion rarely seen in his tough guy roles. That same decade, he continued working steadily in television and film, including Easy Street with Lonnie Anderson and the made-for-TV western Where the Hell's That Gold?, alongside Willie Nelson, before receiving one of his greatest honors in 1994 with induction into the Hall of Great Western Performers at the National Cowboy and Western Heritage Museum. While audiences remembered Elam for his distinctive appearance and scene-stealing performances, those who knew him also recognized his blunt honesty, especially when it came to his outspoken dislike of Gary Cooper, whom Elam believed symbolized Hollywood's tendency to glorify leading men at the expense of hard-working character actors. Elam openly criticized Cooper's acting style, work ethic, and treatment of others on set, dismissing his performances as overrated and even calling Cooper's Oscar win for High Noon undeserved, remarks that reflected Elam's deep frustration with an industry that rewarded image over effort. For Elam, Cooper represented an imbalance he could never forgive, a system that overlooked the grit and sweat of actors like himself who gave films their soul. Married twice, first to Jean Louise Hodgett until her death in 1961 and later to Margaret M. Jennison, with whom he spent 42 years, Jack Elam passed away on October 20, 2003, from congestive heart failure at his home in Ashland, Oregon, leaving behind a legacy defined not by leading man polish, but by authenticity, relentless work ethic, and an indelible presence that continues to resonate in American film and television history.